Hey everyone, welcome to Zenler YouTube. We're here, we're live, and we're up for an awesome session today. So we're going through 31 tips. It's 31 days for March, and I'm delighted that we've got David and Allie here today as well. Where are you all? Here we go.
Hi.
I feel like I should be doing something different because I'm in YouTube land. I'm not quite sure. Perhaps we need to go a bit of a YouTube dance or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're here for YouTube. Hopefully, we're going to have a whole heap of people coming in with us as well today. We're going to be roughly streaming for about an hour and a half is our goal. If it goes to an hour and a half and a minute, I probably won't be here, but everybody else will. And we're going to go through our 31 tips for Zenler. And it's not just Zenler, right? These are tips that you can use, the majority of them in lots of different places. So even if you're watching this and you're going, oh, I'm not a Zenler user, but I love sucking up all the free information you guys give me, you can still stay here. We don't mind. We're happy for you to interact with us. We've got people in the chat with us. We've got Brenda and we've got all sorts of people going on. And we're going to be fast and furious. Fast and furious. What are we up to now? About number 72. And we're going to be fast and furious 73. Off we go. So we're going to go through the tips. We're going to take one each. We're going to just go through it a little bit and then we're going to open it up. We've got a couple of bonus tips as well that you won't know about. And I know my one's pretty good because I thought of it. I'm sure Davey's one's pretty good because he thought of it. And Ali, if you haven't got one, you've got 31 tips to think of one, right? And if any of you that are watching this want to type it into YouTube, you can. If you're in here on screen with us, we're going to open the cameras up. You can come in and give us your tip. And you'll get the way this works as we go through it. That would be amazing. Should we go?
Yeah, let's go. So I'm
Tip
going to kick off.
number uno.
Number one, right? So on the 1st of March, we did a tip for you and it was all about sitemap. So if you guys haven't seen it, we're going to send you a link at the end to our blog post and also to the playlist. But it's really important. Sitemaps are so important because what you'll find is that you have to recreate your sitemap. So if you create a new page or a blog post in particular, Kevin will nod to that one, you need to recreate that sitemap, because if you don't, then search engines just find it harder to find it. And if you submitted this stuff as your sitemap URL, it won't be on there. So you need to be updating that sitemap. So that is tip number one.
Awesome. Tip number two. This is for me. So using AI to analyze and fix your pages. Now, if you don't know and you've not seen these tips, then they're all on our YouTube channel anyway, and they go into way more detail. We're just sort of going over the main points. Now, we are in the world of AI. Can you hear that helicopter? It's literally going right over my office. It's gone now.
Noise reduction's good.
We are in the world of AI, and AI is a useful tool. And when on tip number two, we went through how we can use AI to analyze and then fix our pages. So it was really interesting watching the video because David did it on a test site that he's got, and it brought up immediately an issue where there was a split H1, H2 tag on it. It looked beautiful, but from a SEO point of view, it was a disaster. Right, it literally just picks up one word, which means nothing in the world of SEO. So use the AI tool. There's a prompt there as well with day two. Go and put your URL, your link for your page on it, and it will tell you how to fix stuff. Really important that we do this. That was tip number two.
And tip number three, which follows that, is that David created a GPT for your Zenler site that you can use to input your site. You go on to the link. I think, David, can we share that link somewhere for people? It's on tip three on the YouTube channel
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
Yes, for the GPT. And what this GPT is going to do for you is it's going to tell you what doesn't make sense on your site. When it comes to SEO and it comes to Google and getting seen and all of those things, there are layers to what Google wants from you and from a site to determine whether or not your site has credible information, whether it's reliable information. And there are layers to that. And without going into all of that, that GPT is designed very specifically to help you identify the missing layers within your SEO on your site. So what you're going to do is you're going to follow the prompts. It's very easy to do. There's a paid version and a free version, right? So if you're on the free version of Chat GPT, you can use that option, and it will give you an entire report on where things don't match up on your site's SEO. If there's wording mismatches, all of those things it's going to tell you, which is really good, because having that foundation set up on your site and going through that GPT will just give you the confidence to know that you can promote your site, right? Once you fix the little things that are in there, you can now feel confident in promoting your site, that everything on there is good. So definitely take that GPT. It'll take you a few minutes to go through the prompts, and it will identify all those missing layers on your site for you.
Fantastic. Right. So tip number 4 for the 4th of March is video thumbnails. Right. So a lot of people don't know this, do they, guys? That you can actually upload your video and you normally get a static video image of you doing this, you know. So let's all do our thumbnail. Let's all do our funny thumbnail. Can you hear me? You can, but you're not doing it.
What are we doing? Say it again. We're doing a funny thumbnail.
Yeah. When you upload a video, right, what comes up? What sort of image comes up? It's like that.
What normally comes up.
Yeah.
So,
or it's me going.
yeah, we've had that on a few live support desks, right?
Yeah.
Right. So really simple. This was a fix to show you how you can upload your own video thumbnail, or you can select a frame for the video. But that was tip number 4 on the 4th of March, guys.
Right, tip number 5, back to me. Oh, this one drives us all mad, and this is so important, right? This has got to be one of the go-to tips for this whole series, and this is all about getting image sizes right. Now, why do we care about image sizes? If you make them too small, they look weird, they're pixelated, they're blurry, they're horrible. You might think you're doing yourself a favour. Oh, small image, it'll load quick. Well, what's the point of it loading quick if it looks rubbish, it looks cheap and nasty? Or they go the other way, which is I'm going to have 15 million pixels by 20 million pixels, and it will take a gazillion years to load, right? You don't need either of those. You need the correct sizes for the correct part of your site. It's really easy. 1950 by 1080 is a standard. We use that on our big images. That's how we do it. And then we go down, and, you know, it's a great tutorial to go through. Now, we do throughout the course of this talk about things like using Canva and things like that. I'm going to assume if you're a business owner, you have Canva Pro, right? If you haven't, you should have, right? It's 12 quid a month or something ridiculous. The same as Chat GPT, 15 quid a month. These are really low level commitments to your business. And if you can't commit that to it, you're going to really struggle in trying to produce something of quality. So go and get Canva Pro. Go and follow day 5 video, right? And go and double check your image sizes on your site. And I don't care whether it's WordPress, Wix, Squarespace, or Zenler. It doesn't make any difference. It's really important, because not only have we got the aesthetics of does it look good, does it look bad, but of course we want the right size image to load the page quickly. You will be penalized if you have hundreds of images on, they're all massive files, and it takes forever to load. Google goes, oh, I'm not showing that to my customers because you can't be bothered to do your job right. So really, really important one. Look at your image sizes.
Very good one. Okay, tip number 6 is coming back around to your site and your SEO. And tip number 3 shows you how to turn off the indexing for low value type content on your site, which means like your registration page, sign up page, something like that, where you want to go in and just turn those off of indexing. It's super simple to do. It's one little button under your SEO, just turn off indexing. Very easy to do, and you can do that in just a minute. And that is tip number 6.
Yeah, and just to extend on that, you can put that into disallow on the robot text side of things. So it will force it not to index that as well. So that's all shown in that tip number 6. Very
Yes.
cool. Big one, that one, a big one. All right, tip number 7, 7th of March. So what we talked about, right, was what we talked about was, it's not you, is it, Kevin? We're losing
No, I
track.
was just doing. You said it was a big one. I was.
All right, well, got the wrong tip down.
You missed my
Right,
robot
so
impression.
all hell breaks loose. See what happens when there's 3 of us on, right? So fix alt tags and multiple H1s to boost your SEO. So you're going to notice there's a lot of this stuff that we've done through the 31 days, and it's all these little things that you're not looking at that are making a massive difference to your ranking on Google or confusing the search engines. So Allie already mentioned about the H1 tags and all of these things, but this is extending on it. So you can go and look yourself on fixing the alt tags, multiple H1. This is all to boost your SEO, right? Tip number 7.
So this is getting AI to speak in your voice. This is actually a really cool one, and it's even evolved since then because you can now switch out your folders in ChatGPT, and you can give it its own voice. You can remove the history from it. So if you've got folders and you go, oh, I don't want to lose it all, you can remove the history, move it all over, and put it into a new voice. So it doesn't, if you're working on multiple different product projects or working for multiple different clients and it's all getting a bit jumbled up, which tends to be what happens, it will reference another project that you're working on. I've had this recently, it's really annoying. And you're like, no, it's not that, it's this. And you have to sort of be quite stern with it. This is really good because we want AI to sort of understand us the best way possible. David gives us a really great example of telling a bit of a story. It talks about when he was 8 years old. It could give you nightmares if you listen to it, but listen to it. But it was really cool, and the premise behind it is really important because we need AI to understand us and who we are, what we want to try and achieve. And I've got to say, it does a good job at understanding my accent. So if you think you've got a strong accent, it will understand you too. But we need to get all of those inflections and our personality in there as much as possible. So therefore, it doesn't eliminate editing, but it reduces editing. So when we create things, we've got less to do. And AI is about making life easy, right? So go and do that. That was a really cool one actually to think about and very, very topical at the moment.
Yes, yes, yes. And speaking of making things speeding up your workflows for you, tip number 9 is exactly about that as well. When you're working on your Zenler site, pages take time to load. The editor takes time to load. So pre-plan what you're doing and speed up your workflow by getting those pages up and loaded and working in different windows so that you can go through and speed up your process and your workflow. And have all of those tabs open already. So you're not looking through and clicking, oh, where's that page? Okay, let me get to that one. That slows you down. If you set it up from the get-go, get everything open, it has time to load, it has time to do everything. And then what comes next? Just click that. Now you can close out the tab you're done with, go on to the next one and work. And that's how you can get your workflow and you can speed up how you work. That is tip number 9 for you.
Okay, and that's a good one. So on the 10th of March, we released tip number 10. So this is, in fact, really, Kevin should have done this one. It's all about blogs. So we showed you, because Zenler works with the design and layout works with 2 templates. One is for the main blog page, which has got everything, and one is the post page. And lots of people don't realize you need to edit these 2 templates. So you might want to change that default header that comes with it, right? Don't leave it the same, make it your own. You might want to put a footer at the bottom. What will happen if you change these 2 templates is that it will go through every single blog post. So it's super quick to do, and it's a really powerful one. Maybe create CTA at the bottom going to one of your signature courses or to your community, or set up a form on there to have people sign up to the blog in a kind of newsletter type way. So that's a really powerful one for tip 10.
Yeah, like that one. Number 11. So this is about planning. Think before you build. And this is something a lot of people don't do. I think it's not fashionable anymore. Years and years and years ago, before the time the dinosaurs walked the planet and I started my first business, I remember being sat down and said, you need to have a plan, right? You need to sort out a business plan as to what you're going to do. Back then it was a 12-month, a 5-year and a 10-year plan. That's all a bit of a nonsense these days. We can have plans that work and are more adaptable than that nowadays because the world changes faster. But we do need to plan stuff. So when you're looking to plan out maybe your website, your course, your funnels, your quizzes, your branching surveys, whatever it is that you're looking to plan out, we can use AI to help us with this. Right, this is a really good use case for AI to say, this is my objective, use my voice, this is what I'm trying to do. Can you help me plan out the steps that I need to achieve this objective? And it will help you, and it will get it wrong and it'll get it right, and you'll tell it off and then you'll congratulate it and all of these things. But before you start getting into the build phase, because let's face it, lots of people like to get busy building before they really know. We speak to so many course people. Oh, I'm building this course. Why are you building that course? I'm not really sure. Somebody said that they might like it. How do you know they might like it? Because somebody said that they might. Well, are they people that have already paid you? No. So you're looking to build something before you even have a plan as to how and who you're going to sell this stuff to, even if there's a need for it. Right, so you need to work your plan out way before, and sometimes the build bit is the last bit before you do before that you do everything else, your market research, your pre-selling, all of this stuff, and then you build it once you've sold it. That often is the way that a lot of people do it now, because it's proof of concept, an idea that when you actually go live, people are going to buy it, and then you've just got to worry about the delivery side of it. So there's loads of things within the planning stage that people don't do. And it's something that you really need to start to look at creating a process for. So ChatGPT, I want to create a course for this. I've been told these are the people that need it. This is my expertise and skills. Can you help me outline a process for building courses on this basis that will deliver this in this way? And it will start to outline it for you. Then you can start to work out everything else and fill in the blanks. Planning, really super important.
Yes, planning is very important. And in tip 12, we are talking about how to manage multiple sites in Zenler and understanding what having multiple sites in Zenler means, and being able to manage them more efficiently. So your main account, when you first set it up in Zenler, that is your root account in Zenler. That is your root site that creates, when you create your email, your login, that becomes the super admin login for all of those sites, right? So each site has a separate email, a domain that you can set up, custom domain, custom verified email. All of those things are contained within each individual site, right? They're self-contained, but each one is still linked to that main root account that you created. It's the super account. So that's your you can set up your payment processor in there, and you're the only one who has access to that. So if you add other admins, if you add other people onto your site to help you manage it, they do not have access to your financial information. That information is only for the super admin. Other admins can have a lot more access in there, but they will not have access to that, which is why in Zenler, those sites that you get, the additional sites on the Pro plan or on the Premium plan, those sites have to be owned by you, because that is linked from that main account. Any other account that someone has a login for on any of those other sites, they're still not, as an admin, going to be able to have access to that financial information, payment integration gateways, because those are for the super admin only. And so that is setting that up and understanding that. And if you guys have more questions about like how to use multiple sites, like what would be the use case of using multiple sites as an entrepreneur, as a creator on the Zenler platform, definitely come into support desk on Thursday, 4 p.m. UK time. As I don't know, is it GMT time? What are you guys in?
BST.
BST. So it's 4 p.m. BST right now.
British
Yes,
summertime.
it's British summertime. So that is the time when we get, and that will be noon in Eastern Standard Time Zone, that or 11 in Eastern Standard Time Zone where I'm at. And come in there and we can talk about the workflows of what it would mean for your business to add additional sites and what purpose, what the reason you would use them for would be. We had one person on support desk last week. They're going to use one site for their public content and one site for lockdown membership content. So that's one use case of how you can use multiple sites and manage them on Zenler.
Yeah, so that is really good, Ali. Also, inside that, it's especially for people that want to duplicate or mirror their primary site. So it shows you about copying block code across to that new site, which I know a lot of you were interested in because you said, like, how do I get a different language site and those sort of things? Oh, and it's going to take so long to set up another site to make it look like this. Well, it's shown how quick it can be as well. And of course, Ali covered everything else as well. So go and ask her in live support desk.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. So tip number 13. This was sent out on the 13th of March. By the way, that was my birthday, right? 13th of March. Friday the 13th. That's when I was born. So this one was all about get your image sizes right for mobile and desktop. This is a massive one, isn't it, guys? I mean, you know, mobile responsiveness. And a lot of you are not checking these things. So you're creating your site, you're going, wow, it looks really good on desktop, but you're not actually checking how it looks in your mobile phone. And it just takes getting your mobile phone, because what you'll find probably is a lot of you, if you go and look now, tell me if I'm right or wrong, a lot of you have got that really big spacing between each line of text. Maybe your text is dropping off onto the second line, or maybe your images are just too small or going too big. And you don't know how to control the responsiveness. So that's what that one was all about. So it's a really big one. That there's a lot of these have got some really big connotations behind them as well. So check it out. Tip number 13.
Yeah. 14 sort of builds upon that. We've talked quite a lot about images because they are important. And this is why Canva is something that's that you really need to understand. David uses Photoshop in tip 14 as an example, but you don't need Photoshop to do this. It's just to give you an idea of how to proportion things out properly. And this primarily focuses on images within email. Which is different. It's a different size again. And again, we don't want to get caught up by sending massive files to people, because people do now have filters set for file size, downloads, and all of this on email. It's just another way of not getting your email delivered, right? So you need to make it look sharp. You need to make it look good. You need to make it look in proportion as well. And that isn't difficult. You haven't got to be a graphic designer to understand this stuff, right? You've just got to follow some very basic rules. And in day 14, we cover some of the basic rules for email layouts. So go and look at that one. You'll be really surprised as to what the sizes are that you need to use that make it look the best way possible. So if you're on the Zenler newsletter and you see the emails we send out, you see how nice they look, right? You want something that looks nice like that and not something that's all like that, then go and follow tip number 14.
Very good, very good. And tip 15, following up with that, is about being able to set up email templates so that you can send out things more quickly. This is really, Kevin is right when he says that it's not that much that you have to know. It's some basic information. And here's the thing, you don't even have to remember this basic information. If you design this in a way for yourself, once you set up that template for yourself in email broadcasting, Now you don't have to remember the sizes. You have the template set up in the system for yourself to copy and reuse. And here's the other thing. Not only can you copy and reuse those email templates, you can choose a template, you can start from scratch. You can also scroll all the way down to the bottom and use the old email editor, which is also easy to paste in HTML code if you have that for a specific layout that you want in your email, and you can save that. And now you're just pasting in that same format, the same flow, the same sizes, and you can copy that across your sites as well. So when David was talking about managing multiple sites, you can also take those templates and copy that HTML code over. So now it's not just about remembering all of these little details in every single aspect of your Zenler site. It's about designing a workflow for yourself that doesn't have you remembering it. If you set it up right from the beginning and follow those basic guidelines, like Kevin was saying, now you're setting that up with a template for yourself so you don't have to go through the steps every single time. It really will save your sanity.
Yeah, maximum sanity saving. That's good. Right. So tip number 16 on the 16th. This is a big one as well. This is how to use coupons to boost sales in Zenler. So it's all about the coupon system. And Zenler's got quite a few different things you can do. And we had a question come up in the Facebook group, and that was about how do I append this? Because when you give people a coupon, I want it to go to that page or this page. And it's really easy to just change the end part to match that URL for that coupon to take effect. So instead of them hitting the sales page, it could go straight to the checkout page. And this is a really powerful way that you can actually set it on the sales page. So say you've got an early bird offer, like you're selling your course for $99, but for a particular month, you're giving it away at half price, like for 45 or something. You could actually hard code a button in there with the coupon applied and send it to the checkout page. So this could be used in a powerful way to create kind of these offers coming your way to give that urgency and conversion to boost your sales. So that was tip number 16.
17 is all about reviews. So obviously in any good course platform, we deliver a course, we give people something, we want them to say how great it is. And of course, within Zenler, we can gather reviews in the Zenler system, and we can also display those reviews. But I hear you say, I don't want to use the Zenler system for my reviews. How do I get these reviews elsewhere? Well, we show you that too. So whether you're using Trustpilot or whether you're using Google reviews, we've done a little video that shows you how you can gather reviews over there as well. And it is something that you should be really focusing hard on, making sure you have an area or multiple areas that you are gaining verified reviews from, because that's your proof that what you do works, right? That's your proof that people are happy with what you're offering. And we need to shout about that. We're not very good at talking about the successes behind stuff, but we do need to do that because that builds confidence. When we talk about sales pages, and we did the marketing funnel workshop last week, and we're talking about trust a lot. How do we build trust with people that don't know us? How do we start to do that? Well, we get it from heartfelt reviews, true, honest reviews that people are leaving us. And they should never be edited. They should never be monitored. They should just be the way that people feel. And they're the best ones because we all can tell the fake ones, but we can also tell the real ones. And they're really, really useful for you. So we go through on day 17 exactly how you can use the Zenler review system. So if you're a Zenler user or you're thinking of being a Zenler user, you can use that. But also if you want to go outside of that system to gather reviews, how do you do that as well? But it should be a massive part of what you do going forwards.
That was great. Tip 18 is all about how to set up a beautifully laid out course player if you so choose. Did you know that you can link every lesson in Zenler, every session in your course curriculum has its own unique link? And on the access page for your students, you can actually remove that curriculum block so that they don't access the native feature. And in the curriculum block itself, you can grab the links and then you can design a flow for your course with those links on the course access page exactly the way you want it to look, and not just the native way. So you can play around with that. And it's easy. You also can plan lessons, keep them in draft mode. They're not going to show up in your lesson player for students. When you go in there, we've had these conversations before because it can be very confusing when you log into your course player and you see all this content that you think people shouldn't be able to see. And you're like, oh my God, it's there. I don't want them to see that yet. Well, they can't. You're admin, so you see things that other people won't. So it's always a good idea to create a login for yourself and do incognito browsers in order to log in as a student or whatever so that you can see what they see and what they can't see. That way, you have the confidence to know that what you don't want shown is not shown. So always test and do that, but use that to map out your curriculum, hold it in there, and keep draft mode of the things that you want saved that way so people don't see it. And then each lesson has that unique link and that unique URL. So now you can use those, just like David was saying on his previous tip, that you can hard code that button with that coupon code program directly into it. So it saves processes for your students, less clicks, less things for them to do. And then what you can do from there is, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'm looking at the chat. But what you can do there on with those unique URLs now is you can just design a page with buttons or thumbnails or however you want to design it, and each one is linked to that lesson URL uniquely. So you can design that yourself. And I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Feature
it's good.
Zenler. Yeah.
All right, tip number 19. That was on the 19th. So now what we're looking at is, you know, lots of these things, we're trying to speed your workflow up. So we're telling you about copy block code. We're telling you about making things look better as well. But we're also looking at consistency. So what we see is a lot of sites have very mixed design. Sure, you guys all agree with that. You looked at sites and you go, God, this page could be a completely different site, right? There's no consistency. And that goes across images as well. So if you create a card or a few versions of a card, you can stick to that template. That way, you haven't got to think. You can just produce, right? And you can produce it really quickly because you're working off the back of a template. And that's exactly what tip 19 covers, guys.
Right, tip number 20. Right, I'm gonna do you a little bit of charades here. You've got to guess what this one is. So the dog didn't like that.
I have to look at the tip to realise what
I
that
think I'm
one
having a
was.
breakdown. Right, create an animated slide presentation in Canva. That's what that was. Keep it interesting. We don't like death by PowerPoint at the best of times. We want stuff that moves, right? It keeps people looking at what's, oh, that's moved there. What's that? That's that. And it just makes it look nicer. Really easy to do in Canva. We go through some of the ways that you can do it, how you can do it really super fast as well. So, yeah, go off and have a play. Again, I think it's a pro feature of Canva. So go and do that. That's tip number 20.
And following up with that is creating animated GIFs in Canva. So same idea, right? The same idea. Creating that, putting those GIFs on your site, it gives motion to what is going on. It gives attention. It's moving. It's grabbing their attention and pulling them in to go, what is this, right? So super easy to do inside of Canva, and that's day 21.
Yeah, and to add to that, you can also put that in your emails. You guys have asked for that all the time. How do people get it to move inside my emails? That's how they do it.
Yeah.
So tip 22, are you making these common SEO mistakes? So this was quite an interesting one because it was almost a little quiz, right? So I was asking you, have you done this? Have you done this? Is this? And it's a little checklist of common SEO mistakes that most people make. And even us, right? So sometimes we're busy doing a site or a page and we just forget to do something inside there. So it's definitely worth you checking, especially your main courses, right? Your main pages and your funnels, you know, just to make sure that you are actually, you've got everything ticked. So that was making common SEO mistakes and fixing them. Tip 22.
Tip 23, I'm afraid it's not as interesting as my last one, but it's just a really good time saving one. So we talk a lot about how we can create an asset and then reuse that asset without having to rebuild it. And this one looks specifically at the automations within emails. So within, let's just say, for example, a course, you create your course, you want to send out a sequence of emails. We call it an automation that goes with that course. But if we built a really awesome one in course number 1, how do we move all of those emails that we've just created? There might be 2, 3, 5, 10, 20, whatever it is. How do we easily move those over into course number 2? You need to watch day 23 and we'll show you exactly how to do it.
I hit the wrong button. Welcome to day 24. And on day 24, tip 24, day 24, I'm not sure what we're calling it. We're talking about designing blocks across your sites and pages in Zenler. So again, with templates and saving times, if you design a block in Zenler, you can create a template of that block. There's a little save icon in your blue block on the page builder, and you can click on that and create a template library for yourself of blocks that you can reuse on any page on your Zenler site. And it's at the bottom of the list when you click on blocks, add block. At the very bottom of the list is custom, and those are your custom blocks. Now, one thing to keep in mind is those are not dynamic. So if you add that block to a page and you edit it, that edit is not going to update in that saved block. It's just not going to. If you want that update to apply, you need to go in, delete the custom block you have, resave the new one as your template. So for example, in FAQ blocks that you put on your site, you can put them on every page, any page, but they do not automatically update. So you need to know where they are so that you can update them with the new one and save the new one as the template for when you're adding it onto your site. Now, there's a second way that you can do this as well with any blocks, not just on the site, but now let's say you have one of those other sites like we were talking about earlier, and you want those templates to apply over there as well. They're not going to show up in the custom template library on that site. So what you're going to do instead is you're going to go into the code of that block, which instead of on the left-hand side where you save it, over on the right-hand side of the block is where you can get the code for that block, and you can copy it. And if you're using the other tip of having all of your windows open on your sites, all you have to do is click over to the next tab, paste that code into that block and hit save. Now you've got that block there, which on that site you can add as a template, as a custom block on that site. So now you don't have to copy and paste code over the next time you want that block. On that site, you can just add it to the page on that site. So this is all about setting up these workflows and designing a way for yourself to create things faster and smoother and correctly, right? It's not just about moving fast and getting it done fast. It's about making the process easier for you to do, number one, And it's about doing it right, setting it up as a template for yourself, taking that time to do it right the first time, because then that first thing is going to carry over to the next thing and be right. If you're doing it haphazardly, that haphazardly is going to carry over that template into the next thing that you do. So don't make more work for yourself. Set it up correctly from the get-go. And that is tip number 24.
Lovely, Alice. So I don't think Alice has got to do a tip. We were going to share a tip, right? But she's giving you a ton of tips within the questions themselves, right? So she's been doing that. It shows she's been on live support desk, doesn't it? Really?
I know, I can't
She's
help
like
myself.
doing mental somersaults. You're like, what? Right. So tip number 25 was the 25th of March. And it now I mentioned this earlier. So copying whole pages from one Zenler site to another. So it doesn't even have to be under your plan. And maybe you've got 2 pro plans, right? You could share this between pro plans. If you've got a user that's wants the style of your page and your friends, you want to send that code to them, you could do this. And you could also do it within your multiple sites as well. So this technique is the same technique that some of the creators that do stuff for Zenler or do Zenler sites and page templates, it's the same technique they use. They give you block code to put into your site, but you can do the same yourself. And tip 25 shows you how to do that.
Awesome. Tip number 26, turn your best tips into lead magnets, right? We want people to come in on our list, right? We know that. The power has always been and probably always will be on our list, right? Because we can email them, we can do all sorts of things, we can give them all loads of stuff, right? We can make them feel really special and loved and hugged and all of these things. But we need to get them onto our list. So how do we do it? We create a lead magnet from something we've already created. So for an example, it could be I might write 10 blog posts on the 10 best performing types of blog posts that there is, right? Now that's hard work to go off and read 10 different articles. But if I collated that into one document and said, right, here's the 10 top 10 types of blog posts you can do with a little subline underneath it, grab it here. They've got a one-pager, really, really valuable, saves them time. They get it in one place and they're going to opt in for it. So you haven't created anything new. You've created something from something you've already made. Okay. So using your top tips is really, it's an easy thing to do. You all are experts in what you do. You all know the best advice you give to people, the way you do stuff maybe over other people, or you do it differently. You know, all I've got to do is mention shock collars and I get the dog people all on my back going, just shock collar. Or I say, look, that bloke can get that aggressive dog to be like a little puppy in 3.5 seconds on fake. That's all fake. That's not real. And well, what are your tips? Right. And you've all got them. You all know this, right? Just put it all together, put it into something of value. If there's value in it, people will subscribe for it. If it saves them time, they will subscribe to it. Okay. And then you get them in your list, and then you can start to nurture them through into the starting of a good relationship with your business. So use your top tips to create your lead magnet.
Okay, and following up with that, we're going to talk about tip number 27, which is to turn your video transcripts into blog content. Okay, you can use AI to help you take your original content, right? So you're got a video on YouTube, you're going to go through your YouTube content. You're going to look and see which videos are performing the best, what's getting the most traction. You're going to click on that video. You're going to get the transcript. You're going to copy that over. You're going to paste it into ChatGPT. Now you're going to paste that into ChatGPT with a very specific prompt, right? You're going to ask ChatGPT to create you a blog content based on this video. But you're going to ask it to create it for you in a specific way, right? It's your transcript, it's your content. But what do you want this blog content to focus on? What's the main point that you want this to be written from? How do you want that to look? Then you can give it all of your, you can ask it to give you all of this information, make it SEO rich. You're trying to be found for these keywords. So now now it's putting this all together for you in a way that you can easily copy and paste it in to a blog. You've got your SEO title, you've got your SEO description, and you've got your SEO keywords. You also want to make sure that you have images ready when you're doing Zenler blog, any blog, your social sharing on SEO. You want to make sure you've added a picture there. And we know when you do. We have Wow Wednesday. You all are doing very good these days. I don't see as many little Zenler preview things on people's pages anymore. I think David has done a very good job of consistently reminding you all. So I haven't seen too many of those, but it doesn't matter if it's a Zenler site or someplace else. If there's an option for social sharing and it creates a thumbnail and preview on social media for you, there is an option to add an image, and you should always choose that. So make sure you're doing that. Copy and paste it into AI. You can get all the keywords, copy and paste it over to your Zenler site, and it can really help you create that written content for your site. You can even ask it to pull out a few quotes for you that you can use when you're sharing those on social media as well. So those are some great tips for you to help use AI to help you produce more content from your original content.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good one. Helps you speed up. We're trying to get you to, so you're not burning out. You're not creating more and more content on top of stuff. If you can reuse things, then it's going to help you. So tip 28 was, and this comes up quite a lot. It's so simple, right? How to reorder content inside Zenler. So we look in all the main areas, right? Your blog, in courses, inside bundles, and it's simply just, what is it, Kevin?
Get a hammer out, move this computer over there, and then suddenly it's back to front. Is that right? It's a click, drag and drop.
Drag and drop. That's all it is.
If you know how to click a mouse and keep your finger on it and then move the mouse, you're good to go. Super simple.
Right, that's it.
Next one. So the next one's one of my favourites. It's one I often talk about. I often talk about it on office hours. So there's two parts to this one, even though it's really quick. The first one is the double opt-in. So for some countries, this is a legal requirement. Some it's not, but some it is. It is a good practice because it means when someone opts in, we talked about an opt-in a minute ago, they then confirm that they want to receive messages from you. And they get the choice whether they say yes or no. Okay, they get the choice whether you do a double opt-in to unsubscribe anyway, because that is a requirement. But this just double checks them at the point of coming in. So double opt-in is available. It should be available in any decent email system that you're using, and it most certainly is within the Zenler platform. The other one is the cart abandonment email. So somebody comes along, they're on their mobile phone, they've got 3%, they're ready to buy, they've put their email in, they put their name in, their phone dies. Right, then they forget where they are when they've charged it, they've nicked the charger off of their daughter, in my case, and a day's gone by, you recharge your phone, you lost the page, you can't remember who it was, blah, blah, blah. Well, the cart abandonment, that will sit as an abandoned cart, an unfinished purchase. So what it will do is it will go, right, you've stuck your email in, but you didn't buy from me, right? I'm going to ping you a little email just to go, hey, you didn't complete this, are you still up for it? Here's the link, let's do this, right? So it's a really nice way of making sure that people that may have had every intention of buying, but for some reason, either their phone died, they had the wrong card details programmed into their computer, or whatever it is, can then get a second bite at it. They know where they've got to go back to complete that purchase. And just go and type it into Google, how effective is a cart abandonment email, and I'm telling you, the percentage of new sales you'll get by just setting that one email up. You set it up once in Zenler, you just click it, edit it, leave it, and it will work for every single checkout cart that you've got on the platform. It's really good. And why would you allow money to go? Often people just, it's not their intent to not buy, right? Sometimes stuff just happens and then they forget. We all forget where we've been, and it's just a nice easy, gentle reminder. You can write it in your own words, the reminder. The standard template of the Zenler one, don't use that one, right? It's a little bit between the eyes, but customize it, use your own language, do it in the way that you want. We've had multiple Zenler users activate it and talk about how many X amount of extra sales they've gained by using that. So it's really, really worthwhile. So cart abandonment and double opt-in, really important things. Set up once and forget.
Absolutely. I love that. And following up with that, we are talking about mastering the page builder. Okay. And you go look at this tip 30, there is a hierarchy when it comes to building pages, really anywhere, any system, they'll talk about what their hierarchy is. Understanding and knowing the hierarchy of the system you're working in will really make your work go much smoother because it's the foundation of everything you're building on inside the system, right? So understanding that your blocks, the hierarchy when you're building, there's a block. Then you have your row, like, which means the main block. Now you can get a row. It has 2, 3 columns in it, or whatever it is. Am I using the words in the right order, column and row? I do mix them up. I want to make sure I'm saying the right. Columns is the main thing. Rows are the things that go inside of it. Correct. I want to make sure that I'm not confusing anyone with my confusedness sometimes, mixing up words. But those blocks, then that gives you your layout, right? That's what that column is for, is to lay out your content, right? And then that's in green. The red are the elements. That's the actual content. The element, is it an image? Is it a headline? Is it a icon, right? Is it text? That's what the content actually is. So blue is the main container. The green is your formatting, 2 columns, 3 columns, and the red is your content that goes inside of it. So understanding that hierarchy. And that hierarchy flows throughout flows throughout the Zenler system and every system, right? Your H1 tags for your headlines, your H2 tags, right? For your subheadings and that have extra keywords. All of those things send signals out to the rest of the internet of the content that's on your site, right? So when you're tagging H1, when Google's doing its search to see what the hierarchy of your content is, like, what is the main thing on this page about? Well, that's your H1 tag, right? It should correlate with what the rest of the content on the page is. So that tag lets Google know and everyone else know exactly what's on your site and what the main point is. And then it verifies that through the subheading tag, that H2 tag, and then your content, right? It verifies, it looks through that hierarchy. So understanding that hierarchy will help you build better content as well, because that's what they're looking for. That's those layers, the H1, the H2, the content, the images, all of those things connect with each other. So mastering just that little workflow and understanding it will make your work easier inside Zenler. It'll make it not easier, but I think the word I'm looking for is it'll make it lighter. It won't feel as heavy because you'll understand what goes in the inside of there and how it works. So that will make it less heavy for you. It'll make it lighter. That's tip number 30.
Yeah, fantastic. So that brings us on to today. Ali shared a load of tips, so has Kevin inside here. So I've got one little tip for today. It's less than 2 minutes long, and I'm going to show it to you now. So guys, if you turn the cameras off, I'll do the old screen share, and then you'll see. So I'm going to use, hold on. You guys notice that Zoom changes things all the time. So got it right. Okay, let me just go, and I think you'll like this one because it's actually relevant to what we're doing here as a presentation, right? Okay guys, for this tip, what I want to do is I want to show you how we can get to a playlist such as this one here and just itemize this. Now, this is what we do for this live, right? So I don't want to go around and copy all of these or go through them. I just want to get AI to do it for me. So I'm going to grab the URL here of the playlist. I'm going to jump into AI. So I'm in a new chat here. I'm going to ask it to give me details about each of the tips. And I'm going to enter the URL. And let AI do its stuff. So as you can see, what it's going to do is going to turn each item into a clean tip-by-tip summary with links back to the source. Of course, the great thing about AI is that it looks at different methods for grabbing this information. You don't have to think about it. You can just leave it to do the job. Done. And you can see that it's actually logically put them under the correct tip number as well. So you can see that it's created all this quick summary of each of those points raised inside here. You can see it's even grouped them into different orders: AI repurposing, images, SEO, Zenler building workflows, email automations, and sale trust. So I could take this a stage further and create a lead magnet from this going into these pages, or even create a fully formed blog based on these information. And this is one handy way you can use AI for your business today. So there we go, guys. A quick little tip. I just wanted to do that one. So that's what we did today, right? We went through, I just pulled all that information across and formatted it all. And we all had a turn going through the tips. And it was just sent to Allie and it was sent to Kevin. They keeps them on track because we all know what we're doing. And that's how we prepared it. So how super quick is that? Like in the old days, you'd have to go through each of those videos, copy the title, maybe copy a bit of description or write it. And you have to go through 31 of those to do it. You saw it was done there in less than 2 minutes. I mean, it's super, super quick. Handed out to the guys in 3 minutes to do that. And then we put this whole thing together based off the back of that. So that's my tip. Have you got a tip, Kevin? Really throwing him under the bus here.
Okay. So I thought about having a tip, and then I thought I don't like the one that I come up with, so I'm going to come up with another one. So my tip is more about the mindset of getting stuff done. So when we talk about a lot of people talk about perfectionism, and it's the pathway to procrastination. Okay, and my tip would be is everything we do online, we can always go back and make better, right? If you're looking and waiting for that perfect video, that perfect thing, that perfect sales page, that perfect course, I'll tell you now, it doesn't exist, right? We go out, we create lots of workshops, and we often go back afterwards and go, wouldn't it be good if we'd have included that? Or we could have done that a bit different. We could have improved that. But it didn't stop us doing it. And the value that was delivered was huge. I'll use the accelerator program for those of you that are familiar with it as a good example, where we went through that. We then created a 30-day one that is still running and people are going through it. And we're going through and looking at version 2 now, because looking back on it, there's things that we can make better. So if we'd have waited to analyze and overanalyze it to the point where we thought it was at the point of perfection, it probably still wouldn't be released. And therefore, the thousands of people that have gone through it and the people that have actually followed it and made sales would not have happened. Okay? Because they wouldn't have had access to that program. So my tip for you is, and I know a lot of you will fall within this camp, is stop aiming for perfection and waiting for perfection, because it will lead to you procrastinating and not putting out and serving the people you need to serve. And although that's not a physical tip within any platform, I think the mindset side of it is actually really important. And we haven't covered that in our 31 tips, but I think that for me rounds it up. If you feel, we need to embrace the fear of change, right? And therefore, when we go and do stuff, we need to, if we've decided we're going to go and start doing a live, go and do a live. right? Don't worry about, oh, is my background perfect? Or, you know, I've got to go and do this and I've got to do that and over scripting it and all of that. Just go and do it, right? Because at the end of the day, if you really hate it, you can delete it and then you do another one and you make it better. The only way we get better at anything is by practice. And the only way we can practice is by creating, and that means putting it out there for people to use, right? Where most people, experienced course creators, are now, if they look back to the very first course they made, they cringe and they go, oh my God, I put that out. But at the time, they thought it was the best they could do, because we never make a bad decision in the moment, right? We never sit there and go, I'm going to make the wrong decision right now. We always sit there with the intention of making the right decision. This is the best thing I can do. This is where I'm going with this. But we do evolve, especially when we're looking at the online world. When we look at websites that we build, web pages, we'll be in the moment and we'll create what we want. But if we're constantly looking for that perfect sales page, I tell you now, it doesn't exist. And even the top tier people that you're putting out pages that you think that's super awesome, they'll still think that there's a better level for them. And they should do as well, because that's how we evolve. So don't procrastinate, get it done, get it out there. Better is perfect than getting it done, getting it out there, putting it out as it is better than waiting for perfection, because perfection doesn't exist. That's my tip.
Yeah, I think, and also I'd like to extend on that. I mean, look at what's happening now, like with people setting up courses. They're not setting the whole courses up. They're doing pre-enrollments. They're checking for demand before they do a minute of work. Right? If that demand's not there, they don't do it. So think of that as well. You don't. Lots of people just jump straight in and start putting these massive. And Kevin's found this as well. Like when we've run workshops, we've had people do mini courses. Kevin will laugh at this one. So mini courses, right? So like 3-5 lessons max or less, and we find that people tend to get up to like 10, 15, and it turns into a big course. And it's like, that's not the point. You want to get this thing up and running, you know, as quick as possible to get that money coming in. And pre-selling before you to actually validate demand is the norm these days. So you'll find lots of courses that you join, if they'll be asking you to join a wait list, I guarantee you that most of the content will not be put together for that. Only the outline of what they think they're going to do that they put into the page that you're signing up for. And that's to see if there's a demand for it. And if there isn't, they're not going to spend time putting into it. I don't do that now. And so that whole thinking is get it done quickly, see if there's a demand. If there's not, move on to the next thing. And you can be very agile with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that too. It's about using the content that you already have that's out there that people are engaging with, and seeing what that's part of your validation process, right? Like you can have the ideas, it doesn't mean you have to marry the idea, right? I think as creators, because that's who we are, every idea we have is like a child to us. Like it's ours, it's our little thing, and we're going to hold on to it. And you're my squishy, and I love you, and I'm going to squish you, and I'm going to keep you. And we get emotionally attached to an idea that we haven't validated, that we haven't even talked to people about, that people haven't even sent us a signal that they want, but we get so emotionally attached to it because it's in our nature. And we feel like maybe we have to, well, like this is what we do. We're creators. I have an idea. I've got to do something with it, right? No, actually, you don't. What you have to do, what you can do is you can ask yourself, does this idea make sense for the business that I have? Right? Does it even make sense in what I'm doing? Like, why do I need this particular funnel? This has come up on support desk several times. They and David, I know, and Kevin, we talk about it all the time. You're overbuilding, you're over creating all of these things because you're attached to them, but people may not want them. It doesn't mean the idea isn't good. It just means it's not for right now. You can park it and save it. Not every idea has to be developed now out of like desperation. Well, if I don't do it, somebody else might do it, or this or that. Like, no, just let that idea be there. It's not for you right now. And take the ideas and build on the ones that make sense for you, that you validated out there in the world for sure. Take the time, validate it. Don't overcreate it. You don't have to. You don't have to. It doesn't mean you're not a good entrepreneur or a good creator because you have ideas that you haven't used. I have a whole, Kevin, I'm sure does, David, I'm sure does. We have a whole Excel spreadsheet full of ideas that we just haven't had time to get to or just didn't fit what we were doing at the time. They're there. They're saved somewhere. We can go back through them. As a matter of fact, that's a great tip for AI. Yeah. To upload your sheet into AI and ask it if it knows your business model and what you're doing, ask it. What are the next most best ideas that I have that would make the most sense for my business right now? And that way you've saved them. You don't have to let them go. They're there for you when when it's time for them. And then you can let go and focus on the things that are really make sense for your business right now that will actually compound and build on what you already have.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. So Kevin, I think you've got some bits. Shall I show some? Shall I show the blog and stuff?
Yeah, go on in. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. So we created a little blog for you to see. I can't see my screens now. Here we go. Application window. Right, okay, yeah, there we go. So here we go. All those tips that me, Kevin, Allie were sharing with you are all in this blog post. So we'll put this in the chat, but you can just go to newzenler.com/blog and you'll see it on there. And you'll see the links to all the videos. So inside here, there are links to, Allie was talking about earlier, there's other assets inside the video. So you can go to these, watch the video. They're very quick. And then you've got the assets in the description if you go to each one, right? So you can read through those and there's some FAQ bits at the end. And also we have the playlist obviously on our YouTube channel, right? So you can go through those and see all those tips. And this live, you can see it there running, it says live, right? This will be in here. So this will be in that playlist. So you'll be able to see this later if you wish to. Shall we let the hordes on?
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
if anybody wants to
Come
pop
on,
on.
everybody.
While
Yeah,
people are
everybody
coming
go.
on, I just want to remind people that although this is hosted here by Zenler, and there are some tips that are very much Zenler centric, there's a huge amount of tips here that you can use on any platform in any way. You know, a lot of Canva tips are really helpful. So look at those. If you're sitting there thinking, oh, but I'm not on Zenler, I can't use that one. You know, most of them are adaptable to the system you're using. If you find that in your system you don't have things like Abandonment cart and all of that, then you can always drop us a message if you're looking to move over, and we'll probably help you facilitate that. There's free trials and stuff you can get involved in. I'm sure David will stick the link under the video for how to get involved in that as well. But ultimately, you need certain things, and this tip's really been a little bit about that. There's certain things that you need to do to really start to get a bit of momentum behind what you're doing to make it look a little bit better than it was before. And that's what a lot of these tips are about, making life easy, upping the level of the stuff that you're doing, making sure that it gets found online and all of those wonderful things. So you'll find it really helpful anyway. And of course, if you want to share this video with anybody, feel free to grab the link and share it with anyone you will find helpful. Or if you're in a group, for example, and you go, you know what, this would be really awesome for this group that I'm in of creators or whatever, doing whatever, go for it, knock yourself out, grab the link and go and share it.
Fantastic. Well, I don't think anyone's joining us. They can turn the cameras on, but I understand you're shy today. You don't want to be on camera. That's all right. We're good. So I think we're, anything else to cover?
I don't think so.
No. I want to add on to what Kevin was saying about this being a lot of the stuff that transferring over to other platforms and being good for you all to think about for anybody watching on YouTube. specifically things like the hierarchy thing, all of those type of things. Exactly, Kevin is right. Those things are not Zenler specific. Yes, they can help you learn in Zenler, but these are things that are across systems. Every system has a workflow. Every system has a hierarchy. So understanding hierarchies in general like that, and the block and the elements and the columns, all of those things, those are standard building blocks across systems. So knowing that it's not just Zenler specific for you all will help you when you're working in other systems that you've connected to Zenler as well, or for those of you who are not using Zenler yet. I said yet.
Yet. Yeah. So if you want to, Ali, by the way, guys, if you don't know, Ali is on every Thursday at 4 p.m. BST time for live support desk. This is what we do to facilitate and help our users. So do you want to talk a few seconds about your live support desk, Ali?
Absolutely, David. Thank you. Yeah, so support desk is running right now on Thursdays, as David said, at 4 p.m. BST time. It's 11 EST time in the States, for those of you who need that time reference. And really what a support desk is, it's educational support desk. So when you're in there, yeah, there might be things you're not sure how work yet, so you're coming in to find that out, to learn the system. It might be that you just need to understand how you're getting leads into your site, and your SEO or your workflow, your setups, or what's the best way to set up a membership, because there's a lot of different ways that you can set up a membership. And sometimes people think, oh, that's just a thing that people say when they don't want to give you the instructions on how to do something. Except in Zenler, it's very true to the system that a membership can be set up in different types of membership models. So you're not confined to having it just one way. So coming into support desk, we can talk through the type of membership, for example, that makes the most sense for your business in Zenler, and what that workflow in the Zenler system looks like. So you will be able to come in and get that kind of support. It's not just about click this button, right? We have tutorials and support docs for that, and they're very, very in-depth ones that anybody can learn those click buttons. This is more about those questions that clicking buttons doesn't answer. It's about your workflow. It's about, is this the best workflow? What is the customer experience like on the other side of it? Because it's not just about your experience, it's about you being able to create an experience for the people coming onto your site. So that's really what support desk is. And you can come in there. We run for 3 hours right now, and it's all based upon the need from our members. So if you're coming on and that 3 hours is packed full and it's running, guess what? We open up another day and another 2 or 3 hour time slot for you all to come in. We will rise to meet your needs, okay? And that's the one thing that you need to know. So show up for support desk if you need to. Come into community. The tutorial site community is there for you all as well. And I'm adding content in there for you. If you don't want to watch all of support desk, there's a support desk digest, which is a little mini report that I put in there for you all, so that you can get just the highlights of what happened on support desk in case there's any important information for you. We also have several people that come into support desk every week, and they never come on camera. They never ask a question. They just mute their self, keep their camera off, and they're working on their Zenler site in the background. It's like a live co-working session. So besides having educational support, like one of our members, Lisa, she worked for 3 hours on her site while we were on. And then when she had a question, she'd undo her camera and raise her hand to get her question answered, then go back off and work on her site. So that can be a block of time for you every week where you're working on your site, and you know you have a live educational support person there to answer a question while you're in the middle of working. Now that is setting up a workflow that makes your work lighter, if I ever heard one. Yes, let's do it. So join me on Thursdays. I'd love to see you all there. Even if you don't want to talk, even if you don't have a question, even if you're just in the room to listen, there's value in that too.
Yeah, and it's really good, guys. So if you think, right, Allie gets on at 4 p.m, right? So start working at 3 p.m. That way you're going to have some problems, or maybe not. And then then you know that after an hour, you've got direct support, and you can go, look, I can't do this, I can't do this, and then she'll answer it for you. You'll then sort it out, and then hopefully you'll finish it. But if you have another problem, 3 hours, that's a huge amount of time. So really big, really useful. Kevin, also, you've got two things to talk about. Maybe you're not going to talk about one because it's kind of hush hush, top secret, not going to say.
Oh, really quick, Casey does have a question in the comments. She doesn't have a camera to turn on, but
yeah.
she had a question about overall workflow. And if you have a suggestion on first, second, third. And my suggestion is there is no starting point. Every entrepreneur is kind of on a journey that they're on and doing what they do. So your starting point is whatever hurts. Wherever you feel pressure right now in your system, in what you're working on your site, wherever the pressure is, that's your point to focus on. Starting there first is wherever that pressure is for you.
Yeah,
that's
for
my
sure.
recommendation.
Can I just add to that?
Yeah.
There are some resources that we've built if you want to have a look. So the first one, and it's really valuable, is the quick start guide. So if you've got access to the tutorial site, go to the quick homepage and go onto the quick start guide. That will take you through some of the basic setup stuff, like how do I put a favicon in, how do I do this and that and whatever. So that's sort of practical stuff, which is really useful. It takes a couple of hours to go through, but it's worth doing. You get really familiar with the system as well. The other one is we've got the 30-day accelerator program. So this takes people, if they don't really know what direction they're going in and they don't really have a burning need right now for anything, i.e. I must get a course out right now. If you haven't got that, you're just sort of sitting there thinking, well, how do I start to build something? This is a really good 30-day program to go through because it will take you step by step through how to go all the way through to creating stuff that works and generating some leads, hopefully, for you. So both of those I'd suggest you go and look at. They're free resources for you as a Zenler user. Of course, with our compliments, go through it. If you've got questions on either of them, you've got the tutorial site community you can come into if it's during the week. If you're around on a Thursday, go and pick Allie's brain. Sometimes David's there, sometimes I'm there. Come and ask your questions in there about either of those or anything else. But we do, so there are, Allie's right, everyone has a slightly different view when they come in. But if you don't have a view, then they're really good places to start off with, because by the end of it, I guarantee you will know what you want to do. And you'll go, right, I need to do this bit, or I need to do more of that, or this is really helpful. So yeah, think about that. That will sort you out for sure.
So what have you got coming up, Kevin?
So we've got weekly office hours that I run. So office hours has sort of three components to it, really. So and sometimes I add extra bits in, depends on how the wind's blowing that day. But so the first component is I show you an educational area of Zenler. So last week we went through tech support. Because obviously stuff goes wrong, or we think sometimes stuff goes wrong technically, and therefore we not quite sure how to get the fastest response possible. So I went through that last week. Sometimes I'll show you elements of the tutorial site because that's our main training hub. So everything links off of that. So if you do nothing else from this session and you're a Zenler user or thinking about being a Zenler user, tutorials.newzenler.com, go and bookmark that, because YouTube hives off of it, the blog, support docs, everything comes off of that site. As well as having a bank of information in it and trainings and workshops as well. So it's the most valuable site to remember, apart from your own, of course. So that's the first part. The second part will go through something. So it might be I'll go through a part of the system that maybe has been updated, or that you've forgotten about, or that I want to remind you about, or how to use a certain part of it. So we might go through, for example, different uses for communities and get you thinking about that particular feature and how it could be useful for you. So that bit's sort of a little bit of a learning experience on that side. If we've got feature releases, they get released in there first. So often Rakesh or someone will come on and go, right, we're just about to release this, or we've just released this feature. So they come into office hours as well. So that's really helpful. So you know if there's new stuff coming out. Of course, we always do a little video that goes on YouTube on that playlist, but we do highlight it on office hours as well. And then we always let you know right at the end what's coming up. So often we're doing little bits and pieces throughout the course of the week. And we'll tell you. So, for example, we've just run the marketing funnel workshop. The funnel workshop that we ran on Friday, where we did a couple of hours on getting you to understand how the different types of funnels work for different prices of services that you might offer. So I'll promote that on office hours as well. You'll tend to find that in office hours and live support desk, we talk about each other because they're both places there for different reasons, and both really, really valuable to attend or watch the replay if you can't attend it live. So we've got that coming up. We've got crack sessions coming up. I've said I was thinking about doing it on Friday, but I think I'm going to run them on a Monday because that just makes sense, because then I can look at the week before. David will know what that means. So that, I think, the first one of those will be out on Monday. So they're going to be a lot of fun. I'm not going to tell you what crack stands for. If anybody wants to guess, I might actually put it up in the Facebook group for people to guess what crack stands for. It's an acronym. So if you guess it right, there might even be a prize in it. But you only get one guess. No, you can have as many guesses as you like, because I'm pretty sure none of you are going to get it. So before, I might actually do that tomorrow morning, put that up as a poll in our Facebook group. If you're in there, you can guess away, and any winners, we might give you a little bit of swag on the day, but we'll see. Yeah, what does crack stand for? So that's going to be running Monday. It's going to be a new series we're going to trial for the month. We'll see about, like everything we do, we'll see about the success and usefulness of it. If it runs along and it goes quite well, then we'll continue doing it. If it ends up like a dead duck, then obviously we're going to plummet it to the bottom of the lake and never to be resurrected again. So that's that. So that's going to be quite fun. I'm going to try and make it a bit fun. So if you want to laugh, then you'll hopefully come along to that, because I do like to have a laugh when we do our live sessions, as you could probably tell, because otherwise I end up falling asleep, and I don't really like sleeping that much. So I try and make everybody laugh that comes on our sessions. We had a good laugh on Friday in the funnel, but also there was some really core information in there that was really useful. And that's the key, is getting that right. Okay, we learn the best by having fun doing it. And that's sort of the goal of the crack sessions. That's what we're going to be doing. So come along Monday, look out on Facebook. You'll see that there's been a lot of time changes lately, right? So let's just address this. So, British summertime came in on the weekend. We've had Americans changing their clocks for some reason over there. And it's all been a little bit messed up. But Facebook's really good at organising this. So we tend to put our events in on Facebook. And it will translate the time to your time that you've set your Facebook and your PC up for. So if you don't know what time 11 a.m. EST is or 4 p.m. BST is, and you're sitting there thinking, well, I'm in whatever time it is. I mean, America's got like 15 different time zones. I think it thinks it's bigger than what it is. But, it's got all these different time zones. So, or you're one of our Canadian friends that has a couple of time zones as well. Yeah, the live support desk will always send an email out an hour before, right? So you'll get an email reminder as well. So make sure that you keep looking out for those. If you've gone through the system and you've been to one before and you've subscribed and all of that lovely stuff, you'll get an email just to remind you it's coming up, so you won't miss it then. And that's it really. So it's really important that you think about that. We've tried Time Buddy, World Clock stuff and all that before, and it just does our head in. So we just like everything in Facebook events now, it tells you in your time. If you can't work out your own time, well, what hope is there for us? So that's how you find us and when to find us.
Fantastic. I've seen Sonia's put in there. Actually, it's better than the actual name. Questions, user, answers, creator, knowledge.
No, incorrect, and it doesn't flow as well.
No, but it's kind of cool. Well done, Sonia.
Sonia, good attempt. Very good attempt, but no.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know what it is, right?
Well, David made something up the other day and he got it a bit wrong. So
That's what we could
I couldn't
all do
spell
for the YouTube thumbnail. We can all just be like this.
it'd be more like that. Crispy
Yeah,
aromatic duck.
fantastic.
I had some of that last night. It was like, no ducks were hurt in the making of the crack sessions.
No.
Before any animal rights groups suddenly get onto us. Honestly, no, I was joking. No ducks were hurt. Oops.
Don't be getting us in trouble, Kevin.
I'm not in trouble at least once a week. I'm not running my best.
Then
week,
you're not
right?
even doing anything.
I'm
Yeah.
not trying.
You must not have got out of bed.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, yeah. So look out for crack sessions on Monday. Once we run the first one, you'll get it and you'll understand it, and it'll be pretty awesome. So I'm really looking forward to it. Quick understanding and competency kit. No, nice try, Casey, but not quite there. No prize for second place. Don't get a participation medal in this game.
Nope.
Certificate of entry. No, none of that.
Brilliant. All right. So I think we're going to wrap up. It's nearly 4:30. So
Yeah.
we've managed to go through. Thanks, guys, for going through all of those. I know there was a lot of them. And we didn't get any of the numbers wrong. I was really surprised. I'm one for jumping numbers, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, we can count to 31 at our age. I mean, that's pretty good going, isn't it? I mean, you start young and you can't count, then you do pretty well, and then you get to our age and you start losing the ability to count. So
Losing
digits.
we done good. We done good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mix numbers up all the time for sure. Yeah.
Awesome. Right. Shall we wrap up? Listen, thanks everyone for coming along. Hope you found these tips useful. Remember, check the link out before if you're looking to explore another learning management all-in-one course platform. You can get a free trial over there if you want. No pressure. If you don't, you can suck up our concept and go and use it in the world. We're more than happy for you to do that. But if you do, the team here at Zenler, are here ready, waiting to support you in your experience with Zenler, the platform. So have a great day, everyone. Been awesome, team.